Thanksgiving Day with the College of Education, and I am going to turn it over now to Dr. Colleen O'Neill. Dr. O'Neill is an associate professor of school psychology at the College of Education. Colleen?
Well, I really appreciate everyone coming. It's a pleasure to be able to share a lot of our both research and studies and education, that everyone's been getting. I was hoping that the students might be able to introduce themselves, the students who are here. So your name, what you're studying, or if you're in undergrad, what year you are.
Hi, my name is Farzona, and I'm currently a junior at the University of Maryland. I am studying early childhood and early childhood special education. I'm originally from Tajikistan, and yeah, that's about me.
Hi everyone, my name is Joy. I'm also majoring in early childhood and early childhood special education. I'm actually a freshman, so it's my first year here at Maryland, and I'm originally from College Park, Maryland. I've lived here my whole life.
Hi everyone, I'm Mackenzie and I am also a freshman this year. I'm a middle school math and science major, and I'm from Frederick, Maryland.
I'm Sydney. I am a sophomore majoring in elementary education and minoring in creative writing. I'm from Elk Ridge, Maryland, so not too far from here.
Okay, is that everybody? All students? Excellent. I thought that maybe we could start with talking about how many of you received a scholarship or an award at the university to help cover some of the costs of being a student. Could one or more of you speak to what that help looked like and how it impacted you?
So I received the T. Paul and Ellen Gaskin scholarship, and it was actually a surprise for me because I kind of forgot that I applied for it, because I feel like I applied for it like a year or so ago, and then out of nowhere, I just received that mail, which was really exciting news for me and my family, just because it was a big achievement for me. It helped me with textbooks a lot, because usually I rent out textbooks, but this year I felt confident in buying textbooks and using them for my professional library later on when I teach, which a lot of our professors really encourage us to do. So that was a really big help. And I know as an education major, we have to take a test called the Praxis. So I know that's quite costly, which I'm saving the money to take the test and feel confident in knowing that I have the opportunity to take it more than once if I need to. And also I know that as seniors, we will have to pay some fees for our internships. So I'm mostly just saving my money until I graduate.
Okay, anybody else? Thank you. I'd be happy to, if it's easier, I'd be happy to share. I got a, one moment, sorry. It's a Sohn Family Foundation Award over a couple years. And that's from an alum of our HDQM PhD program, Mark Sohn, who's in academia. He's since emeritus, but he has been very committed to the College of Ed and he was especially committed to supporting research around refugees and immigrants. And he had a special connection with Malaysia too. He has some family connections with Malaysia, and that's where I do some of my research. I do research on resilience and prevention among and prevention programs that may be culturally responsive, especially for immigrants and refugees, both here and abroad. And he and I seem like a great match. I would visit him in New York, and he actually came and visited in Malaysia when I was doing a Fulbright research over there. And the support actually allowed not only for there to be an initiative as part of my research and evaluation as part of the research in Malaysia for refugee teachers who are refugees themselves. There, mostly from Myanmar, Somalia, other countries. And what was nice is, one of my doctoral students was able to be supported to do that work. So that's some of the benefits of such scholarships and awards. Any other students feel like sharing their experience? If not, I have other questions. I'm a professor, so I always have questions.
I know one question that has come up, how, as students, how has the pandemic affected your year? And how do you see that as influencing you as you go into teaching, or as you look into teaching? And maybe we'll turn it over to either one, Joy, Mackenzie, Sydney, Farzona.
I can do this one. So the pandemic has really presented, obviously, challenges for everyone. But I've really noticed that it's taught me to really be resilient and just really persevere through anything, and like really prepare and like be on my feet, ready to adapt to different situations, which I think will help all of us in the classroom, because everyone knows, like, in the classroom, you always have to adapt. So I think that has really helped me this year.
For me, it kind of changed my educational trajectory because I had a lot of plans to study abroad and do different internships. So I kind of had to reconfigure what I pictured myself doing throughout college and look for like the bright side in this new situation. I've taken this opportunity to kind of work on myself and to learn more motivational strategies and really engage in my education. I've taken some winter classes because all of the classes are online, so I've taken more classes with this new online format.
So if I could speak on, like, one reason I decided to become a teacher, or I'm deciding to become a teacher like later on, is I'm surrounded by so many like people, like mentors that are teachers, and I've really been encouraged by them throughout my education trajectory. So as I see them as they moved into like a pandemic filled education year, like they had to switch from being in classrooms to online on Zoom and learn how to motivate their students. I heard about their stories and I feel motivated and encouraged by their testimonies that I can also be a teacher to go beyond anything that might limit me as an educator.
I think like another effect of the pandemic is, I know that like as education majors, we all have field placements, and that was not possible due to the pandemic. But I don't think that's completely a bad thing, because our professors are working really hard in like integrating a lot of videos for observation. So we still have the opportunity to observe different behaviors, different strategies. Like, I really think that UMD professors are doing a good job in providing us with all the resources that we need to be able to become the teachers that we were to become without the pandemic.
Thank you guys for all talking about, what is it called, silver linings people talk about, of learning. And it's hard when you can't do a study abroad, Sydney. I hear that. I'm happy you were able to salvage some experience, too. And I'm happy that the College of Ed professors, as Farzona said, have been able to be supportive and trying to make, as equivalent an experience as possible. I do have a question. I don't know if you guys have any favorite memory that you may have in the College of Education, whether it's pre-COVID or during COVID, whether it's with friends or in classes. I wonder if you guys have any favorite memories or experiences. Luckily, as a professor, I'm comfortable with silence, but you got to reflect on this one, right? Because there are probably many different memories that you have, you know?
So for me, it was prior to COVID. I remember having one class that we just found out that we will have field placements, because as like a new major, I did not know that's even part of the major. So I was so excited. It was so exciting to receive the mentors that we get, the school, the grade we get to work in, and so exciting to show up and just be part of that experience, which I really miss.
Yeah, I could see that you miss it. And it sounds like it was really exciting to have that experience. I remember my first field practicum experience in schools. It was thrilling, intimidating, but also thrilling at the same time. Anyone else?
I'm a freshman this year, so I haven't really been able to experience that many experiences so far, but I've really appreciated the College of Education teachers, like being able to, like we're just forming good classrooms, even though it's all virtual. I feel able to connect to everyone, which I've really appreciated.
Yeah.
Yeah,
those connections are important. Sydney, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say I really appreciate how the College of Education professors put such an emphasis on our well-being as students as well, not just the material that we're learning, but also they care about how we're doing as students.
Yeah, Sydney, especially now during COVID, I'm happy that you noticed that. I think all the faculty are really working hard to be aware or support students and each other, you know, during COVID. Kurt, did you have a question? Did you see another question people were asking?
Yeah, and I'm sorry to interrupt you as you were asking. I just actually wanted to put it out there to our guests. If you have a question, feel free to either type it in the chat or you could raise your hand and we can go ahead and you can ask a question. But sorry about that. Go ahead.
No problem. No problem. I do have another question. Why do you think it would benefit the College of Ed or University of Maryland if alumni gave back in different ways to University of Maryland?
I think it really shows like the community that UMD has, and just how, like I've felt this already, just how everyone just kind of feels together, even though we're so far apart. And that by like giving back, it's just a way to like thank you for everything that the university has done for us.
I completely agree with Mackenzie, and I think it goes beyond like a monetary gift, like just a sense of community. And I just feel encouraged like when other people are, you know, like supporting me in different ways. And I know I can reach out to anybody in the College of Education or alumni to get advice from as I go on my journey as an educator.
I mean, I can also say that, you know, for our school psychology doctoral program that I'm a professor in, it has made a world of difference to have people on we have a board that gives guidance and they're all mostly alumni, and they give a lot of guidance to and supervision opportunities to be supervised by people who've gotten PhDs from our program. So out in schools or in other clinic settings. In addition to a number have been on our dissertation committees too, and it makes a real difference. that kind of giving back also, in addition to monetary support. Kurt, do we have 1 minute left? Is that right? Do we have time for a question? What do you think?
Yes, we do. Sorry. One more question will be fine.
Okay. So favorite dining spot on campus? Anybody? You know, probably pre-COVID, more pre-COVID, or even right off campus. I don't know.
One of my favorite places to go that are on campus is the dairy. I love their ice cream there. Off campus, there's a place that sells bubble tea. I love to go there. It's like right near South Campus Commons as well.
Yeah, I didn't know about the bubble tea place. It's good to know. I've taken my kids to the dairy also. Delicious, delicious. Anybody else?
I'm also curious if any of the alumni on the call have a favorite former or currently existing dining spot, because I know many of the places in College Park have changed over the years.
It's okay. If you
Oh, the
don't,
crab.
oh, the crab dip at Adele's. Sorry, I do see. Yeah, I've had the crab dip at Adele's along with a lot of other food at Adele's when we hosted faculty coming who are interested in being faculty at College of Ed. Anyone else want to drop it in the chat? Feel free. Favorite places to, oh, commuted from DC, so you ate at the Austin Grill. Got it.
Ah.
All right.
Dell's is no longer a restaurant now, which is a bummer. So it was definitely a nice place to go. It was like one of those you felt like you were going upscale. Lito's Pizza, yes, the original Lito's, not necessarily the delivery Lito's, which is a different. So I'm with you on that one, Elliot. That's wonderful.
Good Tidings mini baked potatoes. I never got those. Have I been missing out on those?
Yes.
Oh, Kristen. All right, Kristen. I've been missing out.
That's wonderful.
Right. So, Kurt, I'm happy to ask any more questions, or I'm not sure where we're at.
No problem. No problem. Well, here's I just had a couple of questions, I think, as we go through, as you're looking, and thinking about, because I think all of you are looking into teaching as a career, and how, with all the changes that we're going through, I mean, with the fact that so much of our work is becoming online, how do you think the teaching experience will change? And it's good just to be creative. So, what it might look like for you when you get out there in a couple of years. So I'll open up. Anybody, Sydney or Joy or Ferdona or anybody, or Michelle, any thoughts?
Mackenzie too, right?
Mackenzie, sorry.
Yeah.
What did I say, Michelle? Sorry.
Sorry.
I think there's going to be a lot more technological tools at our disposal, and we're going to have to cater our teaching to kind of use the benefits of those tools. I did do like a short internship in high school in a first grade class, and it was at a newer elementary school. It had like really fancy whiteboards and stuff. So I think using technology to make the classroom more interactive, and even in the virtual setting, there's a lot of websites where you can do like collaborative things. So just using interactive platforms that get students engaged will probably be have a lot of emphasis on it in the future.
That makes sense. Yeah, it's interesting too. I wonder if there will be a, programs like we used the other night, a Kahoot, the Kahoot program. Do you all use those in your class, or have you all used those? I guess you probably got those in high school, probably too. When you're that makes sense. they're they were a fun way to a fun exercise to use, right? Are there any other technologies that you guys have used or that you use now in your classes or even with your teachers might use?
Jamboard has been one that we've used to do collaboration online, which has been super helpful and good for everyone to kind of share their ideas without having to everyone speak.
That makes sense. The limits of a Zoom call, right? You can only have one person speaking at a time. Yeah, Jamboards are good. We've used those a couple times as well. So that's so good. How about you guys, Sydney, Joy, or?
So actually, I tutor a third grader in the program that I'm in for UMD. And I think there's just so many resources that I could have, even if it's more restricted. I'm not in person with my tutee, but I feel like there's so many resources I can find online. And just games, like math games or reading games, it motivates the children to continue learning.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, listen, I think that kind of wraps up our first segment here. Any other, let's see, just a couple of comments. And Lori has a good comment about how it's pushing, tech has helped us individualize instruction, and it's pushed us faster in that direction. I think that's a very good point, Lori. I think it has, it really is, and it is becoming more about individualized instruction in many ways, because you have the ability to monitor that. So thank you. But I do want to just say a very special thank you, Colleen, for helping to moderate and help us with that. Sydney, Joy, Mackenzie, Farzona, I thank you so much for spending some time. And honestly, thank you for putting the time in and sticking with it. And even through all of this, this is not a easy environment to go to school, and you guys have really stuck it out. So we really appreciate you doing it. We need teachers, and we need teachers like you out there in the community. So thank you very much. So we will we'll go ahead and move on to our next segment for today. And again, for those of you who are joining us, my name is Kurt Sudbrink. I'm the Assistant Dean for Development. I'm joined here by my colleagues, Lexi Monahan, as well as Lauren Benning-Williams, who is here with us as well. And I just wanted to again thank you and welcome you to this to our event today. This is a part of our Giving Day, and we hope that you will also consider making a gift today. We have a link in the chat that you can make your gift. We have a number of challenge matches, so any gift you make can be matched dollar for dollar. So we really appreciate it, and please use that link. I am now very lucky to welcome our next group, and this section is going to be led by Kristen Skandal, who is also an alum of the College of Education, as well as an employee of the university. And she is, Kristen is a member of our alumni chapter board, and she is also a Giving Day champion today, helping us to raise funds as part of Giving Day for the Mary Beth Dreschler Sharp Fund. So I'll go ahead and turn it over to Kristen, and she can introduce herself and the other guests.
Great, thank you so much, Kurt. As Kurt said, my name is Kristen Skandal. I use she, her pronouns. I am a proud alumna of the College of Education, currently also serving as affiliate assistant professor in the Student Affairs concentration. And my day job is as associate director of the Gemstone program in the Honors College. Looking at our audience today, it's so wonderful to see so many colleagues and friends, as well as fellow alums from our program. And so thank you all for being here. We have a great panel of 4 current graduate students in the College of Education who I'd like to ask to introduce themselves. If you all can share your name, your pronouns, your degree, and the program that you're in, I think that would be a great start. And in my Hollywood Squares, Tara, I see you first.
Sure. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tara Hall. My pronouns are she, her, and I am a current doctoral candidate in the Student Affairs program at the University of Maryland. So nice to be here today.
Thank you. Jeffrey, do you want to go next?
Hi, everyone. My name is Jeffrey Young, and I go by he, him, his. And I'm a PhD student in counseling psychology. I'm currently actually calling in from the Bay Pines VA in Florida. I'm currently on my predoctoral internship off campus.
Thank you. Kaylin.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kaylin Mcewen. I am a PhD candidate in the Student Affairs program as well, and worked on campus, actually in the advancement office for a time. I work off campus full time right now as well, and I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. And Tessa.
Hi, everyone. My name is Tessa Johnson. I'm a PhD student in the Measurement, Statistics, and Evaluation program, and I use she, her pronouns.
Thank you all for being here. I think something that is so core to our experience as graduate students in the College of Education is our research and our research interests. So I thought it might be nice for folks to start off and share a little bit about your research that you're working on currently or plan to work on for your graduate work. And we can go in any order.
I guess I'll keep going. So I'm beginning my data collection actually this week. So this is exciting. I am conducting a qualitative dissertation, a critical constructive narrative dissertation study exploring the interconnectedness of race and spirituality for Black undergraduate students who self-identify as spiritual. So I am excited to learn about their stories and their experiences as self-identified Black and spiritual students who attend predominantly white institutions and how they encounter support for these identities. So I'm excited.
So I could go next. Historically, my program of research has focused on intersectionality, racism, sexuality, and now religious and spirituality as well. For my dissertation, which I'm almost finished, I'm just writing up the results at the moment. I am working on trying to understand the mediators that may explain the relationship among LGBT Christians, identity conflict, and how that relates to psychological distress, and if certain types of coping strategies such as internalization or religious coping may impact that relationship.
You can go next. I am looking at career choice and skill development of fraternity and sorority professionals within student affairs. So why people choose to go into that career. That's my own background as well, and how they learn the skills to be most effective in their work with fraternity and sorority students, either at a headquarters level or on a campus level.
And I think that puts us at me. So in my department, we're kind of like quantitative engineers. We kind of bridge the gap between data science and learning about how we use methodology. So folks in my department end up at like Google or Microsoft, in academia, the College Board, educational testing services. I don't really fit in there. I'm more of an academic focused kind of scholar. And so I'm really interested in learning how the social networks that we're a part of help us learn and change the way that we learn. So either how the networks form in online environments whenever we're on online platforms, how that changes how we're going to stay in classes or maybe withdraw from classes if our networks aren't as supportive, or how these networks form among schools. So if students are mobile across schools, how do different schools share resources, and resources could be students or other types of resources. So that's kind of what I'm interested in.
Wow, thank you all. This is really exciting. I do love research, and I feel like I have to give a shout out to Dr. Tracy Tyree, who's here. Your research influenced my doctoral research and dissertation, where I use the socially responsible leadership scale as the foundation for my dissertation. So that community and network among Maryland graduates, I think, is strong. So thank you all. Another question I have is related to your professional engagement and professional involvement. I think professional development and professional associations are important for graduate students. So if you all want to share a little bit about how you might engage in professional development in your work, and how has that changed as a result of COVID?
So I could go first. So actually, was the graduate assistant for the PhD career and professional studies from the graduate school, as well as the Career Center for 3 years before landing my internship here. So I think a lot about career and professional development, all in and out, especially since I'm in my last year and semester now. And I think ways of engaging in that has been mostly really talking to alumni, like learning their stories and learning like who are the people out of my program who I can connect. And also I think that what's helpful, so I'm in psychology, so I'm a part of the APA. So having the house of kind of like graduate students who are across the nation, as well as the alumni, to kind of show models of like what are their careers outside of psychology and within psychology. So in counseling psychology, we had the opportunity to do research, work in industry and practice. So right now I'm at a VA, but I also have a strong background in teaching as well. So I think having relationships, and what has been nice about COVID actually has been, it's easier to hop in on a Zoom call or someone who's sharing their story. So I've seen that as something that has been very beneficial.
Yeah, I agree with much of what Jeffrey has articulated already. For me personally, I'm a member of several national associations, and so I'm a member of ACPA, AERA, and NASPA, and I have been fortunate and able to present at at the national conferences recently. And so I've been able to, present my research and learn from others about their research and their methodologies. Also, what Jeffrey mentioned, I've been able, as a result of our virtual engagement, I've been able to also engage in virtual webinars and professional development during this past year, whether that be at the local level through Maryland or at the national level. So yeah, professional development is certainly important to me, and something that I stress both for myself and for champion also for my colleagues.
Caitlin, I think you
It's okay.
muted first.
This is hard. I think, yeah, being able to present at conferences is something that is important. I think in fraternity and sorority life specifically, there's not a whole lot of research that exists about the group of students or professionals that are doing that work or pursuing that experience. And so I think that that's really important. And something that I have felt really grateful about Maryland for is to teach us how to also consume research that we have in those venues. And so as a part of my day job, I also am in charge of a research project across the whole fraternity that I work for. And it's allowed me to engage in a way that if I was not a part of Maryland and the instruction that I've been able to be a part of, to be able to digest said research, even though it is quantitative and that is not my forte, I wouldn't be able to be as effective in my job. And so I think it is across professional development, but also I'm really grateful for the learning that I've been able to be a part of from the faculty and students at Maryland in our programs and in the college in general.
So I have had a lot of great opportunities being a part of UMD. I'm currently the Graduate Student Council Chair for the American Educational Research Association. And you asked how things have changed because of COVID. Well, many people here may know that AERA has, and many other organizations have had to move their conferences online. So last year we had to cancel our conference, and then this year we're moving a lot of our programming to this virtual format. And it's been a bit of a struggle, right? Because you have to build the community of our council over an entire year where we're all in different places and we're all a little Zoom fatigued. And we have to collaborate on developing these programs and providing engaging and supportive networks for our grad students. So that's been a challenge, but it's also been really great because I think there are a lot of new technological tools that we can use and people are getting more comfortable with this space. So I'm really confident that we're going to be able to develop a lot of great programming. And so our annual meeting is in April. We're really excited to share what we've been working on. Another professional development thing that I've been doing is working with the NSF Quantitative Research Method Scholars Program, which is a quantitative training program for STEM education researchers. And we're about to produce a webinar for that in a couple of weeks. And that's just a really great place to help STEM education researchers boost up their quantitative training and have more success whenever they're applying for grant funding.
Thank you all. I think we have time for one more question. If any audience members have a question, we can pause and see if anyone has one before. Okay. Well, I will ask my last question. I heard many of you are in candidacy, nearing the finish line. I'm wondering your post-graduation plans and what that might look like for everyone. And if you don't know, that's okay. I had no idea when I was finishing.
I could share. So I actually just matched last week for my postdoc. So in counseling psychology, thank you. It was a lot. So I'm actually heading back to DC. So I'll be at the DC PA and I'll be working in the trauma services program there.
I'm glad we could celebrate. That's amazing. Others?
Yeah, congratulations, Jeffrey. And that is the million-dollar question that folks have been asking since I began this program. But as I am nearing the end of this doc journey, I am considering both administrative positions. I've had significant practitioner experience in student affairs prior to enrolling in the PhD program. So I'm still open to that, but I'm also considering clinical non-tenure track faculty positions. So we'll see where this journey continues.
I have really no idea. I changed my job actually yesterday was my work anniversary for my new job, working at a fraternity headquarters. So I plan to stick around for a while and just continue to do research. Hopefully I need to get through the dissertation phase first, but continue to just put out research and do things that are of interest to me and kind of see where life takes me in terms of having the actual degree and the letters. So we'll see.
So I am headed on the job market this coming year. And one of the things about UMD is that I've just had such a great experience in my program. And it's just made me want to build the same thing that we have here somewhere else. So other people have, the experiences that I've had at UMD. So I really love teaching. I really love research. So I'm headed to the academic market. And I love the space and the environment that we have here. And it's just inspired me to continue that work on my own. Who knows where I'll land though.
Well, thank you all very much. And thank you to Dr. Julie Cho Kim for joining us today, fellow steward and champion of the Mary Beth Drexler Sharp Fund. So the Maryland network is wide and our community is strong. And I hope you all continue to connect with alumni. So thank you. And I'll turn it back over to Kurt.
Thank you all so much. And it's so good to see you, Kaylin. I haven't seen you in a long time.
I know, it's been a year.
I know. It's a bummer. We miss you. Kaylin used to work in the Office of Advancement at the College of Education. So she's but doing wonderful work. I have to be honest, everybody, one of the reasons I love working at the College of Education is because of the research that our graduate students are doing and that they're doing with our faculty. As you heard, the topics that they're investigating are topics which are absolutely critical to college campuses, to universities, to education, K through 12, et cetera. So we are so appreciative of everybody and all of your work, and congratulations to all of you who are in that final leg of the journey. So welcome again, everybody. Today is Giving Day. This is part of our Giving Day celebration. And we, as part of EdTerps Giving Day Q&A with our students, we are really excited to have you join us today. As a reminder, because today is Giving Day, we hope that you will consider making a gift to the College of Education in support of our students, support of their research, support of the work that they plan to do. So please consider doing that, and we will drop another link into the chat for you to make your gift today. It is my pleasure to now manage the third part of today's events. And I get the wonderful honor to work with a couple of additional students. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask all of you to introduce yourself and a little bit about what you're studying and why you're interested in the area that you're interested in. I have Alyssa, Jinyi, Teresa, and Jessica joining me today. So why don't I go ahead? I'm just going to get started with who I see first. And Teresa?
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Therese. I'm currently a senior at UMD. I'm studying math, and I've also taken a lot of education classes. And starting this summer, I'm going to be doing the master's certification program in secondary education so that I can become a math teacher. And a little bit about me, I'm originally from Mount Airy, Maryland, and I'm actually graduating a year early, so I'm technically like a junior or senior. I don't really know. But yeah, so that's a little bit about me.
Thank you, Therese. Appreciate it. Let's see, Jessica?
Hi, I'm Jessica Parker. I'm currently a senior, and I'm a middle school math and science education major. So right now I'm currently doing my student teaching internship virtually in a 6th grade science classroom. And then I'm from Annapolis, Maryland, so I'm local. But yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Jessica, you're also a part of the student ambassadors, right?
I am, yes. I was a junior ambassador last year, and then I was a senior ambassador in the fall. But then like our ambassador program for seniors was done. So I'm not currently one, but I was.
Yeah, and that is a group of students who help to serve their fellow students and make the college experience a wonderful experience. So thank you for doing that. Let's see, Alyssa.
Hi, my name's Alyssa Leventhal, and I'm a freshman, and I'm majoring in special education. I'm actually it's a newer program. It's like the track 2, which certifies you in both general and special education. And that was like super important to me because, well, like right now I want to be like a general education teacher. I know how like inclusive the classroom settings are. So I think having that special education degree is super important as well. And I'm from Brookville, Maryland, and I'm currently living on campus.
Oh, fantastic. Well, you braved you braved the experience, and now you're living on campus. That's wonderful. Okay, Jinyi.
Hi everyone, I'm Xinyi. I'm a graduate student in school psychology program. I'm a 2nd year doctoral student in the Chessie department. I'm also the president of Chessie Graduate Student Association president. I'm very happy to be here. A little bit about me. I am an international student. I'm originally from Shanghai, China, but I did my undergrad and master in Hong Kong and in Boston, and I worked in Connecticut before coming here, starting my doctoral program.
Well, welcome, and thank you. So you work with the Graduate Student Association, with the College of Ed,
with the department,
with the
Chessie department.
Chessie department. Wonderful. That's great. Two really good, strong student advocates. It's great. Well, I tell you what. Why don't I know one thing that's on the mind of a lot of our alumni and friends and donors is this year obviously has been a really a major challenge, right? I mean, we've had a pandemic. We've all had to pivot and go online. And we have all had to, deal with so many new challenges just to get an education, right? And so what I'm hoping that is you could maybe share a little bit about what were some major challenges that you've seen this year that you've had to overcome, and what are some things that that have worked really well for you this year. So I'll go ahead and open it up to whoever would like to go first.
I can go. So I am currently in my full-time student teaching internship right now. So that's definitely something that is a little bit of a challenge, having to adjust to virtual, because obviously as throughout my undergrad, I always was expecting that in-person student teaching classroom experience. So it's definitely looking a little bit different. But from that, I've been able to learn about a lot of technology tools and a lot of technology platforms that I wouldn't have been able to learn about otherwise. And I think it's really just kind of made me more adaptable of a person. And I think I'm really going to come out of this experience a lot more with a very special skill set, like learning how to be a teacher while virtual learning is happening. So that's definitely kind of a unique way to look at it, I think.
Also, like going off of that, similar to what Jessica said, I'm just a freshman, so coming on campus, I was like still trying to take advantage of any opportunities I could get to work with kids, and obviously that was kind of difficult, but I got involved with a lot of different, these aren't directly through the College of Education, but I know they're advertised like through it. I'm doing like College Mentors for Kids and Maryland Mentor Corps and a few other tutoring programs where they're all virtual, but it's still, like Jessica said, I'm gaining all these skills even on Zoom, like sharing a whiteboard and using other online programs to help teach. And it's definitely challenging, but I think in the long run, like once obviously we go back to in-person school and just in the future, there's still skills that I'm definitely going to be able to apply to my classroom and just use to help my students.
Real quick, Alyssa, sorry. I'm sorry, Teresa. Just a quick question. Alyssa, you had mentioned sharing a whiteboard. How you can share a whiteboard virtually, I guess.
Yeah, so on Zoom, like one of the features when you go to share the screen, you can actually like share a whiteboard, and then there's like a feature that the student or whoever you're working with, they can annotate it as well. So it's just kind of like you're both writing. So often when I tutor, I'll write a problem on the whiteboard and I'll ask the student to use an annotation tool to solve it and walk me through explaining their steps along the way.
Cool. That's really cool. Thanks for explaining it. And sorry, Therese, I apologize.
Oh, no worries. I was just kind of going to build off of what both of them had said. I think that another thing about like virtual learning, since we're doing it as students right now, when we become teachers, I think that we can kind of see the struggles that our students are going to have also. So like, I know that like motivation for online classes or like sitting through an hour and a half class on Zoom could be like very difficult. But I think that since we know that, we can kind of adjust how we're running our classrooms when we become teachers and kind of adjust to what didn't work for us as students and what did. And so since we're like experiencing this from the other side of it as we're entering our careers, we have a better understanding of how our students feel as well.
I was the instructor of 2 undergraduate courses last year. It's still going on the year of the COVID pandemic. So one class is peer counseling and the other class is design thinking with freshmen. So both of these classes actually require a lot of, in-person interaction and community engagement. So it's really a challenge when everything is moved online. But as I was navigating through this online environment, I learned more new skills of creating a sense of community online. I would intentionally do some community ritual in and ritual out in class. So I think it's really interesting thinking how we can create engagement in an online environment. And I think after COVID is over, I will bring these thoughts in in-person, offline classes as well.
Thank you for that. That's a really interesting point, how to create community for students and how to make them feel that they're a part of something, not just one-to-one with a teacher or with, with somebody. That's interesting. So a quick question, just speaking of community, and kind of how do you, as a student, how are you creating community in from where you are and where you're taking classes and whether you're on campus or off campus, and how do you make the day fun for yourself as a student?
I can answer this one. Like I said, I'm a freshman, so I don't really, this is different from a lot of other students because I don't have the prior college experience of having in-person classes. But for me, first semester and this semester, all of my classes have been online. So first semester, I started off just doing most of them from my dorm, and it was nice because I actually am part of the scholars program. So a lot of my classes have a lot of the same people. So I still was able to meet people. And just by getting involved with clubs, I've definitely been able to meet people and get a community feel. But especially this semester, I've been able to work at some buildings on campus like ESJ, the Edward St. John Teaching and Learning Building. They have a really nice setup, COVID, following all the restrictions all spread out. And I'll see my friends there working, and it's just really nice, even though we're all doing our own thing and it's all over Zoom, just being able to see other people and work with others.
Yeah, same. I think something for me also is just trying to get on campus as much as possible, as much as I can. Something I really like to do when the weather's nice, I would go and do homework outside somewhere on campus. And that was just a really nice way to feel like I was still on campus, even though I was doing everything virtually, I was still being able to be on campus and doing everything. So I'm definitely looking forward to the weather getting nicer so I can go back and at Hornbeck outside, there's all those tables. That was always my favorite place to go.
Very, very good point. It doesn't look like this right now, by the way, everybody. So it doesn't look like that.
I would say that for me, I just try to, I feel when I'm in my room the entire day, I start to get more Zoom fatigue and things like that. So I try to just go out and I have roommates because I live in an apartment. So whether it's just taking a break and doing work with them, or just going outside, or even reaching out to people in my classes to try to work with them over Zoom, I found that to be very helpful. So if for my math classes, especially if I am struggling, or if I know someone else in the class, I've had class with them before, I'll be hey, do you want to work on this homework together over Zoom, or do you want to go through the notes together? And even just getting that face-to-face interaction over Zoom of someone in your class, I think is completely different, because when you don't have cameras on, it's very hard to judge just the classroom environment. But when you can talk to people in the class and see how they're feeling, it also kind of makes you feel it's more of a real class, and you're actually producing something which is hard when it's just a blank screen that you're staring at all day.
I really like nature, so for me to have a fun day, I would go out and explore the parks near me. And in my role as the president of Chessie Graduate Student Association, my team and I are actually creating a lot of fun events for the student body as well. During the final season, last semester, we had like a yoga event with one of our wonderful faculty.
Yoga event is probably would be a nice relaxing thing right now, wouldn't it? Well, I one by the way, if anybody who's joining us has a question, please feel free to drop it in the chat. We can go ahead and ask. And I do have another question for you, just in terms of what are you all most looking forward to? Now, I think Jessica, you're graduating, right, this year?
I am.
Let's just say, come July, everybody's feeling good. We've all gotten our shots. We're all back to somewhat of a sense of normal. What are you looking forward to next year?
Well, next year I'm actually, I'm planning on, I don't know yet, I haven't gotten my application in yet, but I'm planning on going to grad school at University of Maryland. So for special education. So I'm really looking forward to being able to be on campus again next year, and hopefully maybe some more things will open up, like getting back to sporting events in some kind of way. I do miss physically going to class in person, so just getting that experience. So hopefully things will start to open up more and we'll get that more of the in-person community feel that there is on campus that I've always loved.
Great, that's great. And which program are you doing again? I'm so sorry. Is it the master's?
Yeah, a master's in special education. Yeah, hopefully if all the plans work out, hopefully that's what I'll end up doing.
That's great. It's a wonderful program, a really good program, very needed.
For me, I would say I'm also looking forward just to like face-to-face instruction, being able to have in-person classes, and assuming everything is better, I'll be able to continue with the current like tutoring and mentoring experiences, but in person. So I'm very excited for that. And also I'm still finally this semester, I'm doing a few education specific classes, but I've been primarily this year getting my gen ed requirements out of the way. So I'm excited to start doing more classes with like smaller groups in the College of Education.
Cool. Therese?
Yeah, so next year I'm going to be student teaching for the first time in my master's program. So assuming everything is back in person, it'll be the first time that I'm consistently in a classroom, like teaching other students. So I think I'm really excited for that, and I'm hoping that it goes well. And that'll be in a high school classroom. And because of COVID, the class that I was supposed to take that was teaching high schoolers, we didn't necessarily teach high schoolers. We ended up just doing it with college students that were also in the class. So I'm really excited to have the interactions with high school students and kind of see how that's different than middle school and elementary school, which I've done like 1 or 2 days student teaching in, but I'm excited to be student teaching for the majority of my master's program.
That's really cool, Teresa. Real quick, what do you know what school you might be working in yet?
I'm not 100% sure yet, but I think I'll be working at Paint Branch High School.
Oh, fantastic. Wonderful. Wonderful. That'll be a great experience.
I just really look forward to seeing my friends and hugging them. And next year I'm going on assessment practicum for psychological assessment. So I really look forward to going back to the school buildings and working with children.
Fantastic. Well, listen, we are about out of time, but I wanted to just thank you all, and I'll share the same thing I've shared with others. Thank you all for sticking in there. Thank you all for studying to be a teacher, studying to be an educator. pursuing your degree. It's absolutely critical. We need you we need you as educators in the community. There is just a major shortage, and we need good, strong educators. So thank you all, and thanks for sharing your story with us. We really appreciate it. I want to just say to all of you who are guests joining us today, thank you so much. I hope that you've enjoyed, as much as I have, enjoyed getting to know these students, getting to know what they're doing, how they're doing in this environment right now. But I think most importantly, with all of our students, how charitable support makes a difference. And it makes a very big difference to everyone, only if it's just at the very basic level of making you feel a little less anxious, right? I mean, to help cover your costs is really critical. And I think there so many of our families, so many of our students this year across the university have really, that's been a major challenge. And so your support of us makes a huge difference, and we are greatly appreciative. We will drop the link for one last time into the chat. We hope you will make a gift today. You can choose to make a gift in support of scholarships for undergraduate students or fellowships for graduate students, or even research. If you could make your gift today, we would really appreciate it. Don't forget the challenge match money. We have $15,000 in challenge match money from our Board of Visitors. So you can have your gift matched dollar for dollar. So that wraps up our event for the day. Thank you all again very much for joining us, and happy Giving Day, everybody. Take care.
Thank you for having me.
You bet.